Today we come at the Ministry of Agriculture, na U building. We are inside this hall. We get barrage of scientists from the Sierra Leone Agricultural Research Institute, SLARI, where the FSRP project through the government of Sierra Leone, they give scholarship to 13 candidates them for go pursue PhD in various disciplines within agriculture, and self one person where him come out na the Water Resource Regulatory Commission, where himself there amongst people where they get the scholarship in all na 14. So you get for can talk to them and see how relevant this scholarship there at this particular moment when the government in feed salon agenda and priority now on feed Sierra Leone. So we get for talk to them, talk to the researchers, them listen to it and get for say as to how it get for benefits the country. Me na Samuel Ibrahim Koroma, and now na time follow we gonna the all and listen to what stakeholders then get for say with regards to this scholarship. We then they give to them then candidates here we they pursue the various PhD in various disciplines within agriculture. This is not the Green Eye program.
It's an important day in the delivery path of the Food Systems Resilience Project. Part of Component 2, which is about building resilience in the food system, requires the project, the Ministry of Agriculture, making major investments to strengthen the research system. As you are aware, in addition to the infrastructure that's needed, capacity building is an important part of research. At the heart of research is having smart thinkers, smart minds that can come up with technologies, cutting-edge research that's needed to increase agricultural productivity in our country. So this is a major deliverable for the project, a major deliverable for the Ministry of Agriculture, and a major deliverable for the Feed Salon agenda. We are very excited about this. Now, we have done this in the past as a country. We've done this in the past as a ministry. But what we have seen is these smart minds come back to Sierra Leone and they go into the private sector and they leave research. My prayer is, this is not what we're doing this time. My prayer is that the researchers that we have here are researchers that are passionate about research. The driver for what they do is because they're passionate about research. For if you're not passionate about research, if you could come back with your PhD and run after money and say, oh, let me go find money and go somewhere else. But please remember that the funds that were used to train you are government of Sierra Leone funds. The funds and the reason for which these funds were spent upon you is for you to be the change makers in these institutions. We are not supporting 1 or 2 PhDs, no. In SLARI alone, we're supporting 13 PhDs in diverse areas of specialization. So imagine in 3 years, these smart minds come back, young, energetic. You should be able to drive the change that we hope to see. So as a project, we're really excited about this. We're excited about the support we received from the Research Center, SLARI. Thank you very much, Director General, for your support. Thank you very much again to MAF leadership for pushing us and pushing the project and making this strengthening the research system an important part of the Feed Salon agenda. As I said, there are other segments of this. There are segments of infrastructure. The project will focus the rest of the year and early next year towards supporting the infrastructure that's needed for SLARI. So, P.S. Minister, if I should say a few words, I think that will be it. I hope these researchers come back and actually drive the change that we expect in the agricultural sector.
It was a sad day to observe that, especially after having received support from the World Bank to send these students for training, and they came back, handed over resignations to me. That was very bad. It was a drain on our capacity. So for us to witness this day today, I'm really happy. And I wish to thank the World Bank through the ministry and through the FSRP project for providing funds. Now we are seeing 13 potential PhD holders from Slurry alone. I think that's a big boost to Slurry. But it was a long way. It was a long way. I remember sometime in February this year, I had a call from the project manager, or project Dr. Lako. He said, look, my brother, this to me is a priority. We want to remove this training component. I agreed with him, and then the call was made. A good number of them applied, of our staff. The conditions were specified. We received the applications, and all of them, as you've seen here today, went through a rigorous interview process. They were screened, and the process involved like 10 panelists. And the panelists were from the Ministry of Agriculture, from FSRP, and from Slurry itself. We followed guidelines from FSRP, set guidelines. They were graded based on their performance. We wanted to know their research experience. We wanted to know how much they can contribute. We wanted to know how many of them have produced publications. Because if you've produced a scientific publication and you are the leading author, it shows some promise in research. And for all of those things we looked at, we gave grades. We gave grades. We added all those grades individually from the panelists, and then we ranked the performance. So this selection that we are seeing here today is based on the ranking from that interview. So we expect that, I'm talking to you now, the students, potential PhD students, we expect you'll go wherever you go to do your PhD studies and be very serious with it and demonstrate some of the research experience that you've gone through. And when you finish your PhD, have the passion to come back to Slurry and make a contribution. I want to use this opportunity to wish you all good luck as you move forward in your career.
Too much time. But when I came and took up the position of Slurry Council Chair and heard that many of the young crop of researchers that I orchestrated a training while I was DG were leaving for greener pastures, I was sad. But today, it gladdens my heart. Again, I'm seeing a crop of young researchers going for their PhD. And I wish them well. It's an experience you will never regret. But, Honorable Minister, the hierarchy of the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, I know the effort the ministry has been making to do away with the reasons why when our graduate students return back to their position of work, they tend to go for greener pasture. I just hope that in the not too distant future, we will implement fully the new Slurry Act. I know a lot of things is going on to make sure that happens, and I want to assure these young researchers, going for their PhD, that by the time you come back, you'll find Slurry also a greener pasture that you will not want to leave, but contribute to the feed salon strategy. Going to the feed salon strategy, I want to thank the FSRP leadership for awarding this fellowship, but I want to make a plea, and I think this is a negotiation which we have started with the Vice Chancellor of FUNAB, where we met the last time, for reduction in fees, and also requested them that as much as possible, we would like the students to come back and do their research on topics that are relevant to the feed salon strategy in the country. They accepted in principle, but I guess you will have to follow, because it will include a little bit of cost, because their major supervisor will want to come and certify or monitor what they will be doing in country. But I think that is very good, because it will be immediate to contribute to relevant topics of the feed salon strategy, which we also adore, and His Excellency the President wants to make sure this time it is successful. As he said, we've gone through several agricultural revolutions in this country, but there was nothing to write home about. But this time around, he is imploring on all of us to make sure the feed salon succeed. And for that matter, that's why I'm back in Sierra Leone to contribute to that. So, ladies and gentlemen, going to Nigeria, to FUNAB, I've been there for 35 years. You will enjoy Nigeria. They are nice people. And that university is one of the centers of excellence in terms of universities, over 2,000 universities in Nigeria. So you will enjoy it. IIT is close by, and I'm still there periodically, and some other Sierra Leoneans are there, and you are welcome to be spending some time, weekends, and we will see whether we will arrange for you to do some sort of attachment at IITA to give you that international recognition. So, ladies and gentlemen, again, all will be well.
15 years ago, I participated in the formation of a similar exercise when I was Deputy Director General of Agriculture to the current chairman, Chief Dixon. And we were enthusiastic. To particularly remember the focus to recruit female scientists. And we did that. I mean, that's including our current Deputy Minister one, and several others now, who are in various institutions. That is why always I have very mixed feelings when people talk about, well, we lose people, people go. I mean, I think they go on one, like I said, mixed feelings, because at the end of the day, I'm sure about 95% of all those people trained are still in the country and contributing to agricultural development in one way or the other. So, in a general sense, yes. But of course, yours is yours, and you want
research to flourish. Well, like I always said, I think the PS touched on that. What I tell my students is when you come to research, you'll hardly be very rich, or you'll hardly be rich. But on the other side, if you try hard, you will never be poor. So you are in between somewhere there, definitely. And along that same line, if you are not a researcher, you are not a researcher. So most of those people, I know there are people who have stayed, I can count them. Starting with Dr. Conte, followed by Dr. Kamanda, they have stayed. So these are people who have passion for maybe the institution or research itself. So for me, I will just continue to support. If you leave, there's a spillover in the country, fine. But you also want, I mean, as we are aging now, you can see Chief and myself. We are aging. Dr. Conte will turn the curve very soon. We want people to honestly replace us.
Yeah.
I mean, one thing I'm very proud of is that I can say it anywhere. My late professor, I know wherever he's lying, he's proud that he trained somebody that has adequately represented him, not only in Sierra Leone, but in the world. Unfortunately, I've not been able to do that, but not for lack of trying. I have tried, and I think I'll still continue trying. So, really, as you can see, I'm very passionate about this, and I hope we will have a critical mass amongst you who will move agricultural research ahead. I know it is difficult, but I think the PS touched on that, and I know the minister the minister will give an update as to how far we have gone. We have really tried, but I will leave that to him. And I think in the same vein of really being a researcher, I pray that we have some critical mass. And I went to Jala the last time. It's mixed. This lady, Matilda, I see. You are the one who came to my office. And we spoke. And Matilda, I told you, go to that library. Go and read all the books in that library. Not so?
Yes.
Last week I was at Jala. The evidence there shows me that you never, even if you went, you just started and you have not continued. Because the library, Dr. Conte, you have to pay attention to that. The mess, I would say, the least. Mess, which means people are not going to that library. I know now, yes, you can have, stuff from the internet, but I can tell you the material that is there, most you can never find on the internet.
True.
So definitely you need to go to that library and explore. When I started my career, I spent most of my time in that library. It's a small library, and I can tell you, I knew almost where each and every book was. That paid because a couple of years later, Professor Daniel picked me up and he was giving me assignments. And we had to write a paper. I knew exactly where to go and find that book, because I've read it before. So I will still encourage, I will not be discouraged. I will still encourage all of you, not only Matilda. And Dr. Conte, please, the next time I go to that library, it should be in the state befitting the Jala University. we were here, before we die, tap on what we already have. I notice, really, I'm very impressed by the coverage, from the soil to breeding to economics to post-harvest. So we covered quite a rich ground across the food system. It's now left with you. So with those words, I want to also say, research is a society. We will not hide that. Very recently, about a couple of months ago, I encouraged I started it when I was there, and Dr. Conte took it and ran with it. Most of you applied for positions. You know the outcome was not good. Very poor. But I can attribute that to many reasons. We will try and provide the support for you. And one thing that we have picked up here at the ministry is to relaunch the Sierra Leone Agricultural Society and the associated journal. It used to be a very reputable journal. I know that, the saying still goes that you publish or you perish. So for us as a ministry, we are going to relaunch that journal to give you a platform. Many of us have published. We will send, when we started, you will send material to this reputable journal with high impact factor. They will tell you this is not of international interest. It's of local or regional interest. It's very difficult. So you scale down, you come. So we are going to give you a platform, not only a platform, but we are going to make sure that we raise the standard of that journal. We know people who can add value to that journal. And we will be very comfortable with it, so that we give you an avenue to publish. And I'm sure when you publish, you should be able to advance yourself. So with those few words, I want to thank my organ here for bringing this up, supporting it, and of course the minister, because this project is, they normally make that mistake. It is FSRP, it's the Minister of Agriculture. It is the government of Sierra Leone. The loan, the government, your people, maybe your children have to pay that loan. So it's our money. But of course, be that as it may, somebody has to lead, and the performance of that project will depend on how Dr. Lako goes about it. So we'll have to thank him for that and provide the support for him to continue going to the right direction. Thank you very much.
Before I came here, I was with the Minister of Youth and the Minister of Fisheries and Marine Resources. We were together because the three ministries came together and said aquaculture was very key, and we wanted young people to be, the youth, to be a driving force for doing that. Through the FSRP project, which is funding from the World Bank to the government of Sierra Leone, implemented by the implementing team of that project, we are going to pilot 8 fish ponds where we want young people to youth, yes, led by youth, to do the fish pond. We will build a hatchery that will be the primary source for feeding fingerlings to that, but to do it as business. And for me, that demonstrated a core element of what Feed Salon is and what His Excellency President Bio, retired brigadier, has asked us to do. Work together as a team to deliver and bring the core elements of our society to deliver on Feed Salon. Why the youth? Because obviously we know there's a lot of them, but through this fish pond, we want them to take ownership, leadership, and there will be capacity building for them to do this for themselves. This occasion this morning, where we're coming to give certificates to 14 deserving individuals to go study doctorate, is another fundamental aspect of what the Feed Salon program is about. Make no mistake, any country that wants to have a revolution in the agricultural sector, a transformation in the food system, they have to invest in research, they have to invest in people. And this is one of those days where His Excellency has delivered again, because in his Feed Salone strategy, this is spelled out clearly that research is a key part of it, and that building the capacity to do that is central to that. And so today we're here, 14 students from the Sierra Leone Agricultural Research Institute and the National Water Resource Management Agency are going to go study, paid for by government money, to go do a PhD. So I think this is one of those days that we should thank His Excellency for his vision and for delivering on that promise that when he says human capital development and Feed Salone and marrying those two, this is one of those Fridays that sort of exemplifies that. So so for me, it's a Friday like no other. And so in the Feed Salone, as I said, lot of elements that are covered from the strategy, the pillars. Everything is here. We've got students going to study agricultural economics, seed technology, soil science, plant breeding, weed management, food technology, animal breeding, post-harvest technology, and the like, and water resource engineering and management. These are core. If you look, you can find almost in every pillar of the Feed Salone. I don't see data science, I don't see ag finance, but I'm sure those guys going in agricultural economics or you should take a class in those, because this is central to what we're doing. Take the opportunity. And so this is fundamental to Feed Salone and fundamental to the President's promise. The other promise that His Excellency has made, and his vision, which is reflected here, and by the way, we didn't direct any of this, the interview board and all of that. If you look here, there are 14 students. 4 of them are women. If you do the math, that's over the 30% mark that His Excellency has said in any of these kinds of endeavors that we should look for. So we have, again here, delivery for the President. So we President Bioki said this now, talk and do. This is one of those. We are sending students to go study and get their PhDs. We are making sure women are a key part of that. And that minimum requirement, we have it here. So it's a good day. Let me quickly turn to SLARI reform and research, and how I already said SLARI and research is key to what we're going to do. And I spent some time in the CG system and work with some national agricultural research systems, some NARS as we call them. For the longest time, the biggest criticism or feedback that they've gotten is they do technologies and put them on the shelves. There's been a lot of push to reform and make sure these technologies are in the field, contributing to growth and productivity in the fields of farmers and with policymakers. We had IITA, one of the foremost leading CG centers on the continent here not too long ago, just a couple of days ago. And His Excellency has forged a partnership with them. And so I will urge the Chief Dixon, let's make that one of the requirements for when these students are in Nigeria, that they have a position, an opportunity to work with IIT. Let that be one of the things that we put because of the fundamental partnership that His Excellency has created with IITA. So research is key. There is no hiding that. SLARI, we've started seeing the actual active participation in policy formulation, in delivery for Feed Salone and for our transformation of the country. Thanks to the leadership, the Dixon, Director Conte, and the CEO here, who continues to push them to make sure we are not just publishing papers. Papers are very good to publish, and I'll come to that later, but that the seeds that we need, the breeder seed, the foundation seed, that they are playing a key part in ensuring we have a system that gets to the farmers. That's the slurry we want to see when there's a pressing challenge. By the way, what research does, what people don't know, research, the real good research, the ones that win Nobel Prize, is you see a challenge, a wicked problem. You think through how to solve that meticulously, and you solve it, and one that not only touches a small community, but everybody, big impact, large scale. And Sierra Leone is no stranger in doing that. God bless his soul, Professor Monty Jones is a Sierra Leonean that was the first African, probably still the only African, and Sierra Leonean that won the World Food Prize for his contribution in developing the Nerica rice variety, which happens to be still among the favorites and solving a critical challenge that we still have in Sierra Leone. And so, slurry, that's what we want you to do. That's what we are committed to supporting you to do. And on that note, let me turn to the students who are going. This is the call. We want to have, it's not too late to say you can't be a Professor Monty Jones. You can be. You can be. This is the best time for you to want to be doing this, because the president has put his fullest attention to this. He's asked the foremost Sierra Leoneans in the space to come and lead, and he's going to continues to pour a lot of resources into this. And this generation, us, we can be the ones that say we did everything we could to make sure Sierra Leone feeds itself. This is what we think about here. This is the wicked problem we think about here. How can we stop the importation of rice? That's the wicked problem we think about here. How can we stop the importation of chicken and eggs? How can we quadruple our export of cocoa? They may be research questions, but they are fundamental. They touch people's lives and affect economies and change societies. That's the problem. That's what we deal with here. So I know when you go do a research, you have to do all the coursework, pass, and learn the basics of research. You have to. It's a science. You have to learn that. But try to quickly get over that and see, how do I solve these big, wicked problems? I also happen to have a PhD. Last year, I published a paper in the Journal of European Agricultural Economics. This year, I published a paper in the Journal of the World Bank Economic Review, all tackling problems. So I know when you go out there what it's going to take. But okay, fine, maybe you can say I'm an economist, you're not a scientist. But actually we are scientists. But my challenge, for me, in all of my work, it's the big picture that I always look at. And so like I said, there is no better time to do this than now. The opportunities will be there. This is a 3-year program. By the way, don't go for 3 years. I've heard people say we hope, we pray. We're not going to hope and pray. So I don't know what all the mechanics and logistics are. I'm going to require that you're staying in constant touch, doing active work that benefits Slurry to begin with, your home institution, feeds along what we're doing here. And there's an incentive. Like I said, I published a paper last year. I published this year. I hope to publish maybe another before this year end, but certainly next year. And those of you doing agricultural economics, if you want to co-author with me, it's an invitation. My papers go where Nobel people publish. So let me repeat, my papers are published where Nobel laureates publish their papers. So it's an incentive for you to come walk along and have an impact for yourself and really for the country. So again, just piece of advice: enjoy the work. It'll be fun. PhD is a journey. It's actually a real personal thing. So there's that part of it, and we respect. It's a society, like the chief said. we respect it. It's a journey. It's a personal thing, right? It's only you in your head. You can have this weird question that you want to study and answer. It's fine. But make us proud. First of all, pass, don't fail. It's a lot of money we're spending. It's a lot of money we're spending. And I would say, come back to Slurry as the first thing. And we're going to make sure in this period that you're there's a touch point where you're coming and doing something. We're going to ensure that happens. If you don't come back to Slurry, come back to Sierra Leone and do something. Like the chief says, it's a personal benefit for you. And wherever you go, if you apply what you learn, it's going to benefit the country, and we'll all be happy and good for that. If you don't come back to Sierra Leone, head a global institution that benefits and bring the benefits to Sierra Leone. That too will matter, and it will make us proud. So it's a good day. It's a Friday like no other, and we're very happy to be sending you off. Go, think big, solve critical challenges. Don't forget where you come from. We have big challenges here that we will need your hand, and we want you to be a part of this. And on a personal note, I am serious. Those of you that want to write papers, I want to keep my foot in that. Come and let's do it. On that note, I want to thank again the World Bank, the project team, the Slurry, and the board of that made the selection. And again, today is one of those days where we say, on the president's flagship, on the things that matter, human capital development, capacity building, research, we put these together and we're delivering. On that note, I want to say good luck on your studies. I will give you my cards and my email. We want to see you flying high the Sierra Leone flag. Thank you very much.
This scholarship, now we are very much glad. Glad to pass everybody on earth today, because the president of Sierra Leone, a flagship program of Feed Salon, okay, and giving me where they don't give me this opportunity for go study animal health, okay, and animal health, the animal health relate to human health, okay. If you solve the animal health, you don't solve human health problem, okay. So now that gladness I did permit this afternoon today. Me now Nigeria they go study University of Funab.
So what's the plan for bringing that? What's the plan for bringing that to this country?
Well, whatever they go study, I will bring everything, because I hope for even what I will be just going to do coursework there. And they can implement whatever they go learn. Now yeah, they can do me research proper in animal.
I feel fulfilled and I feel happy. You know, now a great privilege and a great opportunity for being chosen among many people for go to a PhD way, not like any BSc or MSc, but doing a PhD. Like, I really feel honored and I'm grateful. Okay, well, one of my ways where I think I go able to solve problem and make farmers them know say they can be in agriculture, not just any form of agriculture, but also in sustainable practices. Like for example, many people don't focus just in farming activities on going to the farm. But one of the things when I know say can also make agriculture very sustainable is also looking at the industrial aspect of farming. So I think that could help. Another thing again, make the farmer be also aware of the ecosystem for you can get into farming and also use conservative practices them we go able to keep the ecosystem and go able to help for and fulfill the government target when a feed salon.
I've done the play for those dream, because some of we now international scholarship are highly competitive. So through the government of Sierra Leone FSRP, that award 13 of we for do PhD, so they go out and they do internally. This is a dream come true, and I believe say with this we all will come back for help for develop the agricultural sector in this country.
So the initiative come up from the project implementation manual, where it's we say in component 2, we for strengthen the capacity of the food system resilience base. So we value change all the support when the major rice, when our staple food, we need for capacitated researchers then for study within that value chains in terms of how for grow and for let will be sustainable in Sierra Leone. So for let will get that, we need for also trained scientists them throughout the value chains, from land preparation, we go for specialists them, for breed the rice, for even agronomic practices, even up to the economics and weed management. So we need for trained people in that line, so that then we're able to advise the government in terms of, for let we get food sustainability in Sierra Leone.
How this one get for the FSR, not just the FSRP project, but the Feed Sierra Leone initiative?
Yeah, it help because the Feed Sierra Leone not the only focus on rice, but rice now is staple food. And for let we Feed Sierra Leone, we need for produce, and not only produce throughout the value chains, we process and package for rich quality, for the good quality for reach to the consumers. So within all that, we need specialists there within that area. So that is why we train people. If you see the batch of students that all they send there in different categories. We have the post-harvest technologies, which is them. We get the agronomists them. We even get the nutritionists them among them where they go. So then they have all in various diverse specialization areas them where they go.
Which LPFC this kind of support will bring back to Slari as the key research institute in the country?
It get for help when they come back, 14 of them or 13 from Slari, one of them from Water Resource Agency. So when they come back, it is say then when they come, all of them they can concentrate in their special areas, and then they go. The good news is then they train within West Africa countries who will get the similar ecologies and conditions. So whatever they train there, when they come, they're able to adapt them very simple. And in fact, we are even talking to IITA for when they come for let them they under for let them collaborate with them such that then research then they can do on a salon, so that it will be useful for we. So when they come back, then they help for boost up the capacity of Slari, for also for let we able to get adaptive research where we want in the country.
So if you say go put Slari in hacks, in terms of the capabilities in Africa, because over time Slari though is for the institution being on the lead.
Yeah.
But as we speak, things not seem the way for the so if you say go put Slari.
Yeah, this is good for help because in terms of the capacity building, we not only get for limit to this PhD, we also get for train the middle manpower. We get for there's a training for that way. This get for follow. So we're not only training PhD, but they want to bring with them go now, then fill them for go take data. They also for never be trained because when they want to count PhD, then get people and then they send them now they feed for go do the layout, for go do everything now lab now then get for the day, not to the one then get for the day. So with the only that middle manpower, we train them the technicians as well. So by the time in the next 3-4 years when they will come and when they train and Slari go able to compete with other research institutions now in the region.
The one part the concern we during the meeting and the fact people will then cannot keep us over time. We happen with WAP. When WAP they you see there's a lot of researchers will benefit in the time of WAP. But at some point in time when they come, the competition will be that favorable, that the research center and that of other private sector areas then we wake up for turn so for short.
Yeah. So
for monitor this position happen that way.
Well, we get for engage like the minister promised. Then they on engagement because also the conditions of service in Slari are really deplorable. So you see say when you come, you compare with other sectors, then you get for go look for living. And we are all colleagues there, so we all know the situations there. So what do? They still push to the government and also the Minister of Finance. The act where they don't already signed, they don't pass now law, let them enforce them, says that the conditions that when they into the act, they enforce them conditions them, and by that the researchers then will be busy and also if you say they are part of the contributions.
For people they are FSRP for the first time, waiting them for no FSRP.
FSRP na food system resilience project within 9 countries in Africa, and we support part of we funding with the support the Feed Salon. So now we the support and we work in almost all of the 15 agricultural districts, including Western Rural. So we the support in terms of rice production, in terms of other value chains like cassava, all the tubers and also legumes. We support all of that there. So we work for feed the people in the country, and we get the center base because we get the farmers them, we involve them, and this year we don't almost plant up to 14,500 hectares. We will visit that gap for boost up we availability of food in the country, local food.
Thank you so very much, Steve.
Most welcome.
Glad you talk to you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah.
Well, now all that we get for Inside TV in edition of the Green Eye program. We don't meet you live in IYV television on channel 33 and SF. Now with Facebook page IYV News. As always, you will watch can get the opportunity for drop with comments, questions, and contributions. And as we go along, we'll get for go through them. But again, you don't hear from various stakeholders them within the hierarchy of the agricultural sector in the country. We don't hear from the minister. We seem very pleased as to this initiative for ensure and capacitate about 14 Sierra Leoneans them for go pursue PhD, in various disciplines. And similarly, so we don't hear from Sipo, we now the technical head for the FSRP project. But again, as all the time, continue to follow the Green Eye program. And me will be bring this edition to you. My name is Samuel Ibrahim Krom. Until we meet again, have yourself a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.